That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back to That's My Farm, folks. We have David Schemm with us, who is with the National Association of Wheat Growers. He's Secretary-Treasurer, and he's also a Wallace County Farmer. So, David, you know, commodity prices are kind of whirling around here.
Right.
And weather's going up and down here.
Right.
You know, it was bone chilling yesterday and, 70 today. So tell me, what are some of the positives going on for wheat growers in the state of Kansas or nationally?
Well, what's kind of neat about this year, especially as we get towards the western edge of the states, and I'm even hearing that in other states too, as we go on over into Colorado and further north and further south into Oklahoma and Texas, is that they got a nice stand of wheat last fall. It comes down simply to all of us are producers out here, and it's nothing greater than to see that nice, beautiful wheat crop going out there. And that's where we did get a nice stand compared to where we have been in the past. Okay. So just a real positive things. We got a crop off to a nice start. I know in some areas it did get very cold. It was hot, cold, and it tends to be a little bit harder on that plant, but we all know that wheat plant has a lot of lives in it to keep coming back.
Okay, so what are some of you've got kind of a current situation going on positive. So what nationally would be a positive for the wheat growers?
One of the things that we're really positive about now is the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership there, and it is moving forward. We've got an administration now who's been very positive about trying to move this forward. We even have a Congress now that's starting to talk about the fast-track authority for the president to be able to move that forward. And so we're really positive that's going to start to help open up markets there with that partnership and make those more available for those wheat producers out there. We've got some countries that have joined that partnership late in the game here that we're still trying to work out the details, but what we're hearing with the support from the administration and our trade representative, hopefully there's some positive room there. But that's just a real positive on the national side from there. Mm-hmm. We've gotten thankfully we got a farm bill passed here this last year, and we've got it in place. But the challenging part of that is that we're trying to get it implemented, and I know the secretary here just discussed yesterday about some of the enrollment numbers, that they're being very low. Mm-hmm. From what I've seen and experienced out in the countryside there, is that the farm bill programs and sessions are pretty highly attended. Producers are trying to find out. Mm-hmm. Yep, trying to find out. Mm-hmm. It's a big thing. There's a lot of decisions for them to make. Mm-hmm. Some producers have viewed some of those decisions as an opportunity, a positive opportunity to better get a tool that will work for their operation out there. However, there's definitely some producers that are concerned that it's pretty difficult to try to digest what they have, and pretty difficult to try to predict what's going to happen in the future.
Okay, so we've talked on some positive sides. What are some negatives associated now with just agriculture in general? Well, I'm thinking of a couple.
Well, obviously, one is the falling commodity prices there. It's hitting us all. Mm-hmm. A little bit gets dismayed when you still see a lot of the input prices still staying high. So obviously, those margins are tightening up there for our producers out there, and so that's a challenge there. Coming from on out there. And as I referenced earlier, from a national side there, some of the challenges we are facing is trying to get farmers informed and educated on a farm bill so that they know what they're signing up for and understand it. We're also challenged now with like I mentioned earlier, low enrollment numbers, so that it puts a last-minute burden, especially on our local offices, to try to get all these farmers through to get signed up. So we're definitely concerned there. The other thing I think is definitely high on our radar as we look at what's going on now and looking into the future is regulations. Mm-hmm. We've got waters of the U.S. going on. We've got various point spill and environment runoff. We now have a tie-in of conservation compliance with insurance, which has gotten a lot of our producers very concerned about making sure they're in compliance and the impact it can have on their operation. So some big challenges there. you know, it's these things that it's so important for people to be a part of a commodity organization. Get involved with your industry out there, because we need to hear that voice. We need to know what's going on out there so that we can bring those issues back to the Hill, back to DC, and so that they can be aware of it and know how to handle it going into the future. I look at our own organization, National Association of Wheat Growers. We've had producers who have dealt with massive challenges, and you know, luckily we've been able to be a part of that role. But one producer absolutely got tied up for several years of farm program just because they found a half acre out of compliance on his operation, and he actually got it resolved, you know, with the interaction there. So, you know, that's some challenge that we're definitely dealing with now.
David, thank you for sharing your thoughts about the Wheat Growers Association and the positives and negatives that we're facing in the industry. And folks, thank you for being with us as well. And don't forget, next Friday we'll be here, same time, same place.